My name is Boy Sanders and I'm the head of performance at Unibet Tietema Rockets. Nutrition does a lot for a professional cyclist. I think we've seen a lot of optimization in the last years. It's a domain that we want to optimize within the next years. Right now we are optimizing our approach on nutrition with having good partners on board that we can rely on. We're currently covering the nutrition side more from an holistical approach. If we think about experts, that's for us the next step, and that's something we're working towards to now. Climbing up the ladder towards competing with the highest level of professional cycling. That also means that we have to make certain decisions, and at the moment we don't have a nutritionist hired by the team yet. Nutrition is not something we ignore, so we do have certain recommendations into place, protocols into place. We have our partners available with high quality sports nutrition and supplements. It's something that we do include in our program, but also feel like we can still make a lot of steps in, so it's actually exciting for the future. Yeah, the nutrition plays a very important role in every aspect of the day for a cyclist. If an athlete or a cyclist wants to perform at his best, he needs to be fueled up at his max. So that means being fueled up before the event or training or race or whatever, but also during and also after. So in every little aspect, it plays a very important role. Since we don't have a lot of specific experts in the team, such as a nutritionist, that means we play in more of like a holistical way. If we now talk about the coach who does the physical preparation, where I'm also part of, that also involves the nutrition strategy on training days, but also providing recommendations for race based on scientific research. But then you also have individual preferences, which you know that some riders have or know from their background. Or some riders do have a nutritionist, which we then also cooperate with, and then we bring that together towards race days. At the end of the day, the rider is responsible for their own decisions and choices. If we want to maintain a clean sport, if it's about taking supplements, we have a task as a team to educate our riders which supplements there are, how they make specific decisions, but also how they can check if a supplement is being tested. So that's also for us important that we work together with a partner where we are sure of the fact that all the supplements are tested. The rider also needs to be capable of understanding the product that they take in. So we have a responsibility to educate them, but on the other side we also encourage the rider to stay educated themselves. We're like climbing up the ladder as a pro team. We know how it goes in the World Tour teams that have already been there for several years and are operating on the highest level. They're working with chefs and nutritionists on site. At the same time, we also know that we're working towards that, so we try to be a little bit more creative. We seek proactive contact with the hotels that we stay in to make sure that the meals provided or the buffet is provided is actually tailor-made for athletes, and we provide them with information about products that we want our athletes to have. Cycling is an endurance sport, so carbs are the most important source of fuel. They're the energy source to be able to do continuous high-intensity efforts. A breakfast should contain a lot of carbs. Extra banana or honey or other sources of carbs, sources of protein or fat should contain that, but in a less amount. Then if we go towards recovery, everybody thinks about protein obviously, but at the same time they also need to fuel up the carbs that they used before riders go to sleep. We recommend them to get a source of protein, something that you can take in a shake or quark, something like that, 𝘬𝘶𝘵𝘵𝘗, something like that. At the moment we focus on general health, and as soon as we have specific things that come into place with riders after blood results or before very important events or traveling towards different countries, we try to individualize that supplement use as much as possible with use of the team doctor or an external nutritionist or the nutritionist that the doctor works together with. A multivitamin is something that we recommend towards our riders. Same as for omega-3, in case somebody has like a little more complicated diet who doesn't eat a lot of fatty fish. Riders go to altitude camps. In that sense, you want to cover ferritin, so iron supplements come into place, but also vitamin status plays a very important role into be able to actually get better from altitude. If we talk about creatine, beta-alanine and sodium bicarbonate, can have an enhancing effect on certain type of efforts, which are mostly in the shorter durations Let's think about sprints, let's think about short hills. Not every specific type of rider would use them. You want to work on their sprinting power, then creatine would be a supplement that we would use in many cases. And I think nowadays sodium bicarbonate is not deniable in the peloton anyway, so it's definitely something that we use for specific races with our riders. We're talking about professional cycling, so everything makes a difference. I think general nutrition in any sense is the most important, and if we don't optimize that, we cannot ask an optimal performance from a rider. One isn't more important than the other. Yes, if we want to compete on the highest level, then supplements come into play, but they don't replace any other part in the pyramids. And always ask for advice of any specialist before stepping into something that the professional cyclist does.